Assalamu alaikum. I'm back once again. The last time we gave a speech about JavaScript, advanced JavaScript, asynchronous JavaScript, and I saw it was a little bit complicated for the audience. So this time I tried to slow it down a little bit, and I decided to talk a little bit about Git. Okay? So the title is Git for Humans because there is a lot of overcomplication about what is Git and how to use it, etc. Okay? So my name is Ismail Hamadi, or Hamza for short. People call me or know me as Hamza. This is my Twitter handler and GitHub and my email. Also, I work as, for the time being, I work as a full-time consultant around the JavaScript ecosystem, especially React, React Native, and all the cool stuff. Okay? Great. So just wanted this. Maybe you've come across this, as always. Just through it. Yeah, this is the whole story. It doesn't work, just through it. Okay? Okay. So let's come to this. So this is a very interesting story because, especially when it comes to, let's talk about programming in general. If you are about to learn new concept or new language in the programming, it's very difficult in the beginning. Especially you have a lot of errors, etc. Okay, so this image is a very good image. Why? Because you can see here there is a lot of failed attempts, and he's juggling here in front of the audience with the. Okay, so don't see just this. So you can just think about the failures in the past. Okay, great. So let's talk about the table of content. So first we'll talk about Git and some history, the origins of Git, etc. How to integrate Git in our workflow, save changes and how to ignore files, how to revert changes. You have some changes and you want to revert them back, or you want to cancel the changes. Then the branches, when do we need to use branches, etc. Then the push changes and resolve conflicts. There is a resolve conflicts sometimes when you get problems when you try to merge PRs, etc. We will get to it. Then submit and test PRs. How to submit a PR, pull request, and how to test pull request. For example, you are the maintainer of a given project, or you are the team lead or team leader in your team, and the developer push a pull request, so you need to try to test it before you merge it into the master or whatever branch you are using. Okay? And I will give you a little bit some tools I use frequently, and I think they are interesting. Also, we'll try to do an example from zero ground to the final station, okay? So we'll try to start from zero until we push it to GitHub. And hopefully we have connection here. Do we have internet connectivity here? Wi-Fi or something? I have. Okay, great. Maybe when we get to this point, we'll try. So I said an example, a real-world example from zero to the deployment. We'll deploy it to GitHub. It's the same because I saw in the comments in the Meetup webpage, someone asked why not Bitbucket, and I was thinking maybe someone else will say why not GitLab, and maybe why not XZ. It's just GitHub, it's just an example. You can use it with whatever solution. They almost work the same. Okay, then some resources, 3 or 4 links that I think are very helpful. Okay, so let's start with Git and some history. Can anybody tell us, do you know a little bit about history about Git? Because Git, it's not a recent.
I think it started with something about the kernel in Linux, and they had to manage the different versions.
Yes.
That's kind of how it started, maybe.
Yes, maybe. Yeah, it's a matter of fact, it's the real story. But it was a controversy between Linus Torvalds, who is the developer of the Linux kernel. He's well known. He's I think from Finland or something like that. He's very known and spoken man. He always makes joke and make fun of the others. So in the first, I think around 2005, the Linux team was using, or the Linux kernel team was using a solution called BitKeeper. It's a commercial solution. And they grant them a free license. It's like you use a free license, And the core team of Linux, they were okay with it. But after that, the BitKeeper team tried to be a little bit clever, and they said, no, you pay it or you don't use our system. So Linus Torvalds got angry, and he was mad about the situation, and decided to create a new project from zero ground. Of course, he was inspired by the BitKeeper solution. So he created a project and called it Git. Okay? So it's the release of Git was from 2005. Okay? So it's like useless history, but maybe you need it. Okay? And Git also is distributed version control system. There were some solutions before Git, like CVS and other solutions, but Git is distributed version control system. Can anybody tell us what's distributed version control system? What's the meaning of this? Distributed version control system. What's the what's the meaning of this this whole sentence? Free? No, there is no free. What is free here? There is no word free. What's the meaning of this sentence? Git is distributed version control system.
It works every system. Windows.
No. It's
It gives
independent.
an idea about the architecture that is, all the system lives with its own different machines.
Yeah, great. This is the idea. Yes. Yes, this is the idea. It's like distributed version control system, which means there is the original version, or the official repository, and you can have clone here and clone here, clone here. It's distributed. There is a lot of clones from wherever. So, for example, if this version or if this repository is down, you can clone from another repository. So there is always a solution. Okay, this is the meaning of distributed version control system. Okay, for CVS, for example, it was before Git. There is no distributed. There was central repository, so you need to push to it, and if the central repository is down, good luck, go home and wait for it until it's up again. Okay, great. And this is the whole story of Git. Okay, what we have, what we call working directory, which means, in simple words, which means like the modification that you are doing. For example, you have a file and you change something, okay, which is called working directory. Staging area, which means if you have some changes and you want to push them, we'll arrive to this term push. Before storing the history of them, you need to take them here. It's called staging area. It's like you prepare them to be pushed, okay? And then there is the commit history. Here you can find all the changes from the day one, okay? Great. So this is the whole story of Git. So if you understand this, you can go home, okay? Great. Let's talk about how to integrate Git. I said you already have Git. So for users who have Mac like me, thankfully Mac provides ships with default with a built-in Git. I think it's modified version of Git by Apple. But if you are using Windows or Linux, I think you can go to the official website. I think Git CVS, and just download the installer and next, boom, until you reach the end. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward step. Great. So this is generally the first command that you issue. When you see these boxes with the gray background, which means they are like terminal commands. Okay, so you put this code in your terminal. Okay, not in your text editor. Okay, so it's like usually we'll use them only once when you install Git and you configure it, because you need to configure Git only one time. Okay, so here git config, it's global, which means for the global project. User.name, which means the name, username, like you write your name. Okay, and there is the second config, which is also, but for this time it's email, not name. Why do we need this configuration? Someone asks. If I ask you, why do we need this configuration? Please go. Yes, great. It's not specifically GitHub. GitHub is not Git. Yeah, whether it's GitHub or GitLab or Bitbucket or X or Z or wherever solution, Git cloud solution, okay? It doesn't matter. So you need username and the email, okay? And we also need this magical word, which is git init. Can you tell us what's the effect of this command, git init? What is the result after we type in the terminal git init and we press enter? What's going to happen?
Initialize the git.
Yeah, thankfully, because git init, which means initialize. But what's the, like technically speaking, what's the effect on the, let's say the folder? Yes, but what I'm saying technically, what's technically what happens?
Specialize the folder that we commit.
Can you speak a little bit, please?
When we enter the folder, we need to.
Okay, let's say I'm in my folder. Let's say, for example, my project is called my project. I'm into that project, and I write in the terminal git init. What happens?
Specialize the files that we commit.
Can you be a little more vague? It's very vague. What happens? I'm saying technically, just give me the overview. Don't go into details. Just the overview. Someone else? What happens?
We tell the directory that here is the main folder of the Git version.
Yes, once you issue git init, it tells the directory that, hey, this is Git project. Yes, but technically, I'm speaking technically, like not the general. What? Can you repeat?
There's a .git folder.
Yeah, excellent. There is a git folder created, automatically created. It's .git. Dot means a hidden directory, so you won't see it by default. If you don't have the option, if you don't show the hidden files, you won't see the .git directory. And inside this .git directory, there is all the magic happens, like keep track of your project and the history of your project. Okay, great. So after git init, there is a .git folder created automatically without you knowing about it. Okay. After we get to the example, you will see the real code. Okay. Great. Save changes. We have here like two technical terms. There is stage and commit, stash and ignore. We will talk about stage. What is staging? Staging means you have, for example, a file, the initial version. You just git init. After that, you have a clean repository and you have changes. And these changes you want to save the current state. Okay? Let's say, for example, I have this project. I have this git init. Okay? And let's say, for example, I added something or some changes. Some changes, which means I added something or removed something, okay? And want to keep track of to save the current status, which is called it's like checkpoint if you learned a little bit about systems and operating systems. It's like checkpoint. What means checkpoint? It's a point where you can go back in the future, okay? So it's like checkpoint. But before giving to this checkpoint, you have to add all your files, the files that you want to push them, you need to send them to the stage. It's called staging area or stage zone. Okay? And how to send files to this zone? Let's say, for example, it's like index.html, for example. I added something here. How to add this file to this staging area? By simply using the command git what? Add, and that's it? Okay, great. Index, you need, yes, index.html. If we need to add all the files, we will issue git add, what? Dot or point? Dot or point? The same. Okay? So dot, which means dot is a well-known operator in the Linux. If you come from the Linux background, you know dot. Dot, which means everything. It has a meaning in the regular expressions. Okay, git dot, which means add all the files. Okay, great. This is called stage. Okay, after you add these files to this staging area, you can now save a checkpoint. Let's call it, for example, add index. Okay, you can now, once you add all your changed file to this area, staging area, you can now save to this checkpoint. This checkpoint. Okay, with this is the message. Okay, the message of the current checkpoint. Okay, and how to save them to the checkpoint? We use git what? Git commit. What else? What we add here? Git commit? Yes, the message. Why do we need the message? Describe? Do we need are we encouraged to add the message?
Yeah.
Why? This is
So that you can, for example, if you want to go back to the same commit later,
Great.
then you know where.
Yeah, excellent. Because we humans, we sucks at remembering what we've done previously. If you work on something now and you come back maybe 2 hours or 3 hours, you don't remember what you was working on. So if you don't have a message to remember a little bit what you was working on, you will get stuck, or maybe you will be lost inside your source code. Okay? So this is why we need to add a message. And the message should be descriptive about what has been done until that time. For example, you don't say git hallelujah or something, I don't know. Okay? Yeah, it's like, for example, fixing something, solving something, adding something. Okay? So the message should be descriptive the message should be descriptive about what happens until that commit. Okay? Great. This is called commit. And there is the stash. We will talk about stash later because it's a little bit okay. And there is the ignore. Ignore, it's called ignored files, because sometimes we don't need to track all the files. For example, who is JavaScript developer here? Raise your hand. JavaScript developer. Come on. JavaScript is the most used language nowadays. So there is only 2. For example, in JavaScript, there is a folder called node modules. I think all of you know. Okay, node modules. It's like the hell of all the hells. Okay, the node modules. What we find inside this folder, all the dependencies and external libraries and third parties. Okay, this directory should not be tracked. Okay, you don't need to add this to your Git project. Okay, because it's not your code. It's the code that you are using. It's someone else's code that you are using. Okay, so you don't need to add it to Git to track it. Okay, and how we track this? How to ignore this folder? How to ignore this folder? I can't hear. Yes, we use ignore. Great. Okay. So we create a file. We name it. What's the name of the file? Yes, the name of the file is git ignore. Just remember the dot. Why dot? Because it's a hidden. Originally, it's a hidden file. You shouldn't be bothered with this file. Okay. So it's called .git ignore file. Simply create this file. Where we put this file? At the root of our project. For example, the project said my project. Here we create .git ignore. Okay, and here we have index. Okay, great. So here we have git ignore. Okay. Yeah, there is a lot of options. I said Git for humans. I didn't want to add all the, because there is a lot of stuff in Git. Let's keep with this Git file, okay? Because the example that we are working with, that we will work on today, is related to this Git ignore, okay? So Git add files or Git add point, okay? Dot to add all the files. We have also Git commit. We said commit message, okay? It's a message about what have been done so far. And git stash. Git stash, it's like, I don't know, I don't want to, but okay, let's go with. What's the difference between git stash and git commit? For the guys who have been using Git for some time. What's the difference between git stash and git commit? What's the difference?
Git stash is committing in the local or something. It's the other one is going to repo.
Not that many.
You, it's for mostly clean the local workspace and
Yeah, what's
save all the changes in a different place.
yes, that's the point. Yes, excellent. So git, we said this is called the staging area, staging zone. And there is also a second zone. It's like stash zone. Okay? When you stash files, they will be saved into this area. Okay? There is difference between this stash area and this stage area. Staging area and station area. What's the difference? Every file or every changes that we push into this stage area will be included in any commit. But if you send your changes to the stash area, they won't be committed. Let's say for example, I'm working on something. I added something that's working, okay, that's working correctly, and I remembered I need to work on something else, okay, and I need to work on the same repository and on the same branch. I don't want to switch the branch, okay? What I do, I send the changes to this stage zone, okay? I work on my thing. When I finish, I can take the changes from this area and give them back here, okay? And then push them, okay? You will see all of this in practice when we get to the code, okay? And in stage, there is three parts. There is git stash, like save with the message, and there is apply and pop. Apply, which means you apply only the stages when you keep them in the queue. Git pop, git stage stash pop, which means that you apply the changes and you drop the stage. Okay, it's too technical and too geeky. Let's great. Now let's talk about revert changes. Let's say I made some changes and I pushed the changes, and they want to revert back. Okay, what are the commands that we use to revert back? Let's say I made some changes. Okay, I pushed the changes, let's say locally. I didn't push them to a server or to GitHub server or somewhere else. I have the changes and I want to revert back. For example, let's say I have this C1, which means commit number 1, and this C2, C3. Let's say, for example, we are currently here. Now we are at this position. Let's say, for example, we want to come back here to this position. What's the command that we use in Git? Reset. Reset what? Yeah, the whole, yes.
Git reset hard, head, tilt.
Yes, first of all, there is two kinds of reset. There is a hard reset and there is a soft reset. There is two kinds of resets, okay? There is a hard reset and soft reset. What's the difference between hard and soft? So if you understand the word hard and soft, I guess you will understand the meaning. Soft means that you will revert back and you keep the changes. You will just cancel. For example, if you come back to this, you will just remove this commit. But the changes will still exist, okay? Whereas if you revert using hard, which means you come back to this commit, and what happens? This no more exists, okay? This no longer exists, okay? So there is two kinds. There is a hard reset and soft reset, okay? Git reset, okay, which means we reset. We use this dash soft. This generally is called the flag, okay? So we use the soft flag and the commit ID, okay? This is the commit ID, okay? So each commit, when you push, this commit has its unique ID, okay? This one the same. Every commit has its own unique ID, okay? So we can put commit ID, the commit ID, or as we can see now. Also we can use the hard. Hard, we use it the same way. We just use the hard flag, okay? We have also this. I love this syntax. This is beautiful. This is güzel. What's the meaning of this? What does this mean? Git, reset, hard, head, in capitals, tilde 1. What's the meaning? Last? I can't hear you. Last what? Last one. Which one? We go back to the last commit. Last branch or commit? We go to the last branch or commit? We go to the last commit. We didn't talk about branch yet, okay? So we go back to the last commit. Why we go back to the last commit? If you're not tired, I guess you can, because there is the one. One which means like go only one step back, okay? It's like this. We are here. If we use one, what means? It means go back here, okay? C2. If we use head 3, what's the meaning of 3? 1, 2, 3. So we go back here, okay? So go back 3, 3. This is handy if you know how much commit you will go back, okay? For example, you can see you will go to the third commit. So you can use git reset hard head tilde 3, okay? So you go back to the third, okay? Third commit. Great.
What is that?
Yes, what is head? This is good question, tricky question. What is head?
Heading back.
What is head? Just head, not heading back. Just head. Very, very good question.
Head default 0.
What is 0? It's very confusing. If you tell the machine head 0, yes, what is head? Very good question.
If I write the reset hard origin,
Forget about origin. We are not there yet. We will talk about it in the future.
we need to try it.
We need?
On real project.
No, if you understand the concept, after you go back to. Yeah, it's the position. It's the. Yeah, it's like here. Yeah. Let's say, for example, why? Because we will talk about. I think we have. Why? Because in a project generally we have multiple branches. Okay. Let's say, for example, we have branches. Let's say. Please, if you have a question, don't hesitate to talk before we get to the coding part. Okay. Let's say, for example, we have branches. Generally, we have master. Let's call this X, and let's call this, for example. Okay? Let's say, for example, I'm in master. I'm in the master branch. The head is here. What's the meaning of the head? It's like the current pointer. Like you can. Why? Because the header can be here. The head can be here. And if you switch the branch, will the head be in the same position or will the head change? If you switch the branch, you change the branch. The head will it be in the same? Will change the head or not? If we change the branch, we are in this branch. And we change. Does the head change or not? The head change or not? Why? Yes, because it points to the current position. If you are in this branch, it will point here. If you change the branch, you are here, it will point here. Okay? It's like if you remember about the hard drive disk, there is a notion called header. Or the head, which goes like in the writing operations and reading operations. There is a head who is moving, okay? The head is always in the current branch. If you are in master, the head is in master. In the latest commit, okay? Not in the first commit, but in the latest commit. Most up-to-date commit, okay? So this is the head. Okay, great. Now branches. Why do we need branches? And what are branches first? What are branches in the context of Git, of course, not in the context of trees. What is branch in the context of Git? Sorry, can you repeat, please? Not really. It's a copy, but it's not. Yeah, it's like copy. You can imagine it like a copy, but there is more to it. In the past, we used like to make copies. Yes, there is commit. In every branch, there is commits. Okay, there is commits, and there is the history, the Git history. Okay, but why do we use branches? Why do we need branches?
When we want to add a feature to our project,
Yeah.
we use a new branch, and after it's completed, and we merge it to our master.
Yes, great. Let's call it, for example, we add new something. Okay, we need the branch. Why don't we work on the master? The second question. Why don't we work directly? Why do we need the branch?
After it works correctly, we merge it.
No, why not keep it on the master, and when it works, you push the commit, you push the changes, you commit the changes.
Master is our product, our main branch.
Yeah.
We don't want to use the unfinished.
Yes, it's like half of the answer. Yes, because generally master is like the what we call it, the upstream branch. And also, if you have, for example, master here, there is the master branch. Let's call it the master branch, and there is a new member in the team. He wants always to clone your project from a clean branch. Okay, so it's not like, for example, you have the master and you push to master, and then I made a mistake, and you revert in master. No, master should be always not master. It's like the convention. You can use whatever branch. You can call it X, Y, Z, or whatever. But in generally, the master branch is only for clean commits. If you have, for example, like I said, for example, you are working on feature or new functionality. For example, let's say my website is static now, and I would like to add the login feature or register feature, sign up feature. Okay, we can create a new branch. Let's call it, for example, login feature. Okay, and I work on this branch. The master is clean. Anyone who wants to work on the master, he can clone this repo and work here. I work on this branch, and once I finish and I test it and they see that it's working correctly and there is no problem, I can add what we call PR, which is pull request. We'll talk about pull request in a few. Okay, so this is why we need branches, and not also this, but we need branches also. For example, if we want to move the changes. For example, you have some changes. For example, let's say in the master, and you want to have another master because you need to delete master for some reason. You can clone the branch because let's say, for example, you are in the master. Okay, and you use the command. Let's use this command: git branch, git checkout -b, which is the B flag, branch name. So this, you want to create a new branch. Okay, let's say, for example, we are in master, we are here, and we want to create this login feature. What we issue? Git checkout -b login feature. Okay, what happens now? Here's the master. The head is pointing here. It will create a new branch login feature, and the header or the head of the repository is pointing now here. Okay, good. There is also this first one, git branch. Git branch, it is used usually to know how many branches you have. For example, if you use this, we will use it in the future. If master and login feature. If you see, asterisk in beside this branch. What's the meaning of asterisk here? What's the meaning? If you use git branch and you see master and login feature and you see an asterisk before login feature. What's the meaning of this? Yeah, great. Which means it's the current branch, which means the head is pointing to this branch. The head, where is the head? Is in this branch, not here. So if you use git branch and you see a lot of branches, which means how many, all the branches that you have in your repository. And when you see the asterisk, which means that specific branch is the current branch. And the header is pointing to that specific branch. Okay? Great. Sorry?
It shows the branch in my local.
Yeah, in your local, yes. In your local. In your remote, another story. Yes, we are talking here locally. We didn't get to the remote, upstream, etc. We are talking locally, okay? Do you have any question? Questions? Great. We can also delete a branch. For example, you finished a feature and you submitted pull request and it has been accepted, and now you want to delete the branch. We use this git branch -d, it's like D for delete, and the branch name, okay? And it's better to switch to another branch after then you delete the branch. For example, let's say I want to delete this feature, this branch. What I do before deleting, I change the branch, I point to master and delete. From master, I delete this branch. Okay? So before deleting a branch, you need to go to another branch and delete the branch. Okay? Great. In a new version, Git will know automatically the back, it's like the last branch. It will switch automatically. But in case, just move back to another, like move here to master, and from master, use this command, git branch -d, which means delete, and the branch name, which is login feature. Okay? We have also, sometimes you want to change the name of the branch. Okay? For example, we said login. In first, we said login. But after some time, we have a lot of newcomers, new team members. And then when they see login, it's like ambiguous. Login what? Login, is it problem? Is it fix? Is it feature? Is it what? So we need to make it more explicit. So if you read it, you understand it exactly, okay? Without making assumptions and say, maybe it's feature, maybe it's a fix, maybe it's a, okay? So for example, we want to add feature. In this case, what we use git branch -m, which means m is like modify, okay? So git branch m, old name and the new name, okay? For example, it was called, for example, login, and I want to rename it to login feature. What I use? Git branch flag me, flag -m. What we put here? Login. Why? Because it's the old name, okay? So the previous or the old name first and the new name. Now what we call it? Login feature, okay? So this is very important because sometimes you need to change the name of the branch, okay?
Is system giving permission to delete when is current branch?
Sorry, can you repeat please?
Yeah, is system giving permission to this current branch?
Yes. In new version, it will delete the branch and go back to the previous branch. It's intelligent. But in previous version, you can't because it doesn't know, I delete this branch, but what am I supposed to go now? It's like go to another branch and you delete. Yeah. It's like, for example, it's very easy. It's like, for example, you want to, like, for example, bombard the house. You don't stay inside the house and boom, you will kill yourself. Go outside, then boom. Yeah, it's a little silly example, okay? Yes, so we talked about this. We will see this after git push, okay? We will see after. Okay, so now we get to push changes. Okay, what's the meaning of push? We call it the push command. What's the difference between push and commit?
Sender change. Send change.
Where?
Whatever.
whatever. What? Yes, it sends the changes to the remote repository or branch. Okay, we call it remote because it's somewhere in some server, somewhere in the world. Okay, we call it push. This is the only difference. There is the commit, which means you save the changes locally on your machine. Okay, push, which means you have the changes on your machine and you want to reflect the same changes that you have on your machine in the remote repository or branch. Okay, so we say you push. Okay, it's like this is the local and this is the remote. Here we say you commit the changes, and if you want to transfer the changes from here to here, we say you push. Okay, so this is the local branch and this is the remote branch. Okay, so we use git push for the lazy people. Git push, which means, for example, let's say we are in the master. We are in the master. If we use git push, only git push, which it means git push the master branch to the upstream master or the remote master, because we have the local repository and the remote repository. If you use only git push, it will push the changes to the branch that you are currently in. For example, if I am in the login feature branch, if I'm in this login feature branch and I use push commit, it will save the changes to the remote login feature if the branch already exists. If it doesn't exist, you will have an error. You will have to create it. If it doesn't exist, you need to use this syntax, the second syntax, which says git push, okay, the remote repo, because we will see if you can clone from different remote repo. The interesting thing with Git, you can have not only one remote, you can have 5 or 6 remote. For example, let's say in my team we have 5 developers. Okay, every developer has his own repository. Okay, I can add, for example, Ahmed, Amin, Karim, Amina. For example, the 5 like a remote repository. For example, Ahmed wants me to test his, for example, given PR. I can clone from his repository. This one wants me to test his another PR, so I can take from his repository. Okay, so we use git push, the remote repository, and the remote branch. It's like remote master, remote, which means the remote repository, master, which means the branch. This is always the branch. The second argument is the branch, and this is the remote name. Okay, we can, for example, say git push. For example, in this case, I have a login feature that is working correctly in my local machine, and I want to push the same branch to my upstream, to my remote. What I use, git push. Okay, we can use upstream generally, or sometimes we can use origin. Okay, git push origin. What we use? Login feature. With this command, it will create the branch if the branch doesn't exist in the remote repository. Okay, great. We have also resolve conflicts. When do we get conflicts? For example, if we are working on Git, can you give us a scenario when we'll get a conflict? Can you give us a scenario, simple scenario?
Two people change the same file.
Yes, great. And what else? No, not only 2 people. If I change it and they don't push it, there is no problem. Where is the conflict? No. If you don't push it, if you don't commit and you push, there is no problem. The problem is, let's say for example, I'm working, we have the master branch. Imagine with me, you have the master branch, okay? You have the master branch, you cloned from the master branch, okay? And you did some changes. And another developer cloned from the master and did some changes and pushed to the master. Now, the master that you cloned from, it's not the same master. If you push again and there is some conflicts, you will have to resolve the conflicts. Conflicts mean there is like okay? And we will see how to resolve this conflict, okay? We have also submit and test PRs. We say we submit PR. PR means pull request. And we say also test pull request. What's the meaning of submitting a pull request? When you finish, for example, let's say I'm the developer and I'm responsible for implementing this login feature, okay? So the manager said, Hamza, you implement the login feature. I say, okay, no problem. I use this branch login feature. When I finish, I need to push this login feature from my local machine to the remote, okay? When I push this branch, it will reside in my remote repository. Then I use what we call, I submit a pull request. So there is the, we call it generally the upstream repository. Here's my repository. The pull request is in my repository. So I send my pull request to the upstream, okay? So the project that we are all working on. We call this process submit a pull request, okay? Great. We have also test pull request. When you test pull request, for example, I pushed this login feature, and now the manager says, for example, Mr. Something, Genghis Khan, I don't know, Mr. Something need to test this pull request. So in this case, we talk about testing PR, because generally you don't test your own pull request because you tested before you pushed your pull request, okay? So generally testing pull request is another person, another developer, or sometimes we call it review pull request. We call it, there is reviewers, which means he will double check your code and see if there is some cases that you forget to treat or deal with, okay? So we talk about test pull request. Oh, interesting. Okay, now let's talk about tools I use before going into the code. Tool I use, it's terminal mostly, obviously, because if you are a software developer, I think you should use, or you should at least know how to use the terminal. Specifically, I use the iTerm emulator. It has a lot of tabs. I use also OMyZetch, which is a code extension for the terminal. I use also Smart Git for everything that's related to Git to see the changes, etc. It has a very friendly and nice user interface, okay? I use also Visual Studio Code, which is a little bit strange because, to be honest, I hate Microsoft products. I don't know why, but I hate Microsoft products. But this product is really good. I don't know why. Visual Studio Code is very good. Compared to Atom, which is the alternative from GitHub, Atom is very horrible compared to Visual Studio Code. In terms of the memory usage and Atom is very slow if you compare it. Okay, but it's not the subject of today's lecture, okay? So Visual Studio, which is very good also, especially if you custom.
Studio Code is based on Atom.
Not Atom, no. It's based not on Atom. It's based on, they use the same Chromium, which is like a Chrome browser. Atom is based on Chromium, which is the father of, it's like the open source of Chrome. There is Chromium here, and there is Atom, and there is another Chromium. It's like a browser, it's like an entire browser, and Visual Studio Code on top of it. But for this Visual Studio Code, I'm not surprised. Why? Because Microsoft has the experience. Visual Studio has a lot of years of experience building software. So Microsoft, if you talk about the experience, they have a lot of experience compared to GitHub. GitHub, they have been around from 2000, I think, 8 or something. Microsoft is from the beginning, with Windows. So they know how to write code editors and improve the memory usage and, okay? Great. And there is also WebStorm. Oh my God. WebStorm, yes. WebStorm will eat all your RAMs if you have 8 gigabytes of RAM. It will eat all your RAMs. At this point, I don't recommend using WebStorm. Plus, you need to pay, I think, $100, $100. It's very expensive. Okay. For me, my previous company, the company I worked for, bought me my license. So.
I have a question about the pull request. Is it part of Git itself, or is it like an extra provided by GitHub or Bitbucket or something?
No, it's embedded in the Git notion. Yes, because if you talk about the kernel of Git. If you make changes, how will the other test it?
Because if you go online, there's like chatting between chatting between the people and they review it, etc. So is that also part of Git itself? Or is
No, it's part of Git. Pull request, it's part of the Git. When it comes to the implementation details, it differs. GitHub implemented this way, Gitbucket this way, GitLab this way. There, it's a different story. But the core principle, or the principle itself, is within the Git. It's embedded with the Git. It's a Git principle, okay? Great. Others, do you have any question? So also, WebStorm, if you use it. WebStorm is very interesting, but it's a lot of memory, okay?
Do you use any tool for merging your commits?
I'm not going to show you all my arms. Yes, for merging, I told you, I use SmartGit. Yeah, you will see now. It's very, very amazing. And they have the community edition, which is free. And there is also the open source version, where you have to check out. I don't use SmartGit for commercial purposes. I think SmartGit is very. I think for me, I used it. I think for 3 years, and it's the very best. Okay. And with WebStorm, there is built-in Git tools, like you can see the difference, the diffs, etc. You can see the conflicts, etc. Okay? Okay, now it's time for, let's write node modules. Now it's time for fun parts, okay? We write code. What's the idea of this node module? For the guys who don't like, or who don't program in JavaScript, sorry, this is like JavaScript example. Now what's our example about? In this example, I thought about it today. There is tools we call CLI, command line interface. For example, if you use the terminal, for example, in the terminal you use the command, we all know the command cd. Okay? We all agree that cd is a well-known command. We all know the cd command, okay? cd is a command, okay? Okay, there is no problem. cd is a command, which means change directory, then we write the directory that we want to change. In this example, we are going to create a node modules that is CLI, which is command line interface. So it's like, this is the terminal. You write the command here, okay? So with our module, or with our example, we write the command here, okay? And what the command is about, I thought about it, it's about the git ignore. We said, for example, in our project, let's call it, for example, JavaScript project. Okay, let's use, who knows Java here? Java. So, okay, let's say Java. They are not the same, huh? Java, JavaScript, not the same. Let's say Java project. We all agree that in JavaScript project, there is some files that you want to ignore. And in the Java project also, there is some files that you don't want to include in your project. Do you agree with this? Do you agree with this? In the JavaScript project, for example, the node modules folder, you don't want to add it to Git, okay? You don't want to track this folder. And in Java project, can you give me an example of a folder that you don't want to track in Java? Target, for example. I don't use the Java or Android that much, so let's say, for example, target. Okay? Let's say you don't want to keep track of this. This command that we will use, if you are inside, if you say, for example, we will call it, for example, I called it git. Let's for example, git ignore. Let's call it, for example, git ignore, okay? There is already extension called this name. Let's call it git ignore. So if you are, for example, let's say this project called, for example, P1. This project is called P2, okay? Let's go here. I will show you, which is better. Oh. Shit. Let's call this. Okay. So we are in this project, okay, Git for Humans, okay. Let's say, for example, make two directory. Let's call it make here Java project. Okay. If you can see, please tell. Let's make it. Is it visible? Okay, great. So what we made, let's say, for example, I create here, examples, okay? CD examples. Okay, I'm in the examples directory. There is nothing here, okay? Let's create two directory. Let's call it Java project. And let's make also, let's call it GS, which means JavaScript project, okay? Great. The extensions that we will develop will, for example, if you are in the JavaScript CD, GS, if you use it, for example, git ignore GS, it will automatically add all the files to be ignored. So you don't have to write it yourself, because in JavaScript there is a lot of folder that you need to ignore. Node modules and Bower component if you use Bower, and this if you use this, and this if you use this. So there is a lot of lists, okay? So the module that we are going to build, if you are inside the GS project, just write git ignore GS, and it will automatically ignore all the files that should be ignored, okay? The same thing, if you are in Java project, just git ignore Java. And it will also ignore all the files that should be ignored in Java project, okay? Let's have fun. Let's call it our example, okay? So the project will be inside this our example folder, okay? Let's open this our example, okay? Okay, great. I'm inside this project, this folder. Let's open this. Okay. New window. This is Visual Studio Code, okay? I change it. I changed some. Okay, let's open project from this. Let's say here, the presentation, Git for humans, examples, our example, okay? So great, this is the project. It's an empty project, okay? What's the first thing that we need to add inside our project? Yes, JavaScript project. The first file that we should add in JavaScript project. No, this is HTML project. In JavaScript, it's generally the package.json. It's the first file. It's where you add all the dependencies, okay? I can use here the terminal. It's like this. What is it? Task debug terminal. Where is the terminal?
We're using Sublime Text.
Yes, I use, yes. Yes, why? Because in Sublime there is not a built-in command line terminal. Here in Visual Studio Code, not Visual Studio, the one with .NET and all the bullshit. This one has and here you can change everything. This is not I modified a lot of things here. For example, in this, I changed this, all of this I changed. Even the theme I changed, okay? So let's view. Can you find with me the terminal here somewhere? Yeah, it's the Sublime Text way. Okay, so I have the terminal here. So the terminal, the project. With in JavaScript project, we can use bash. Okay, now what I do, npm init. I use the flag -y to avoid all the interactivity. Okay, so you can see here, what you can see here, it's project, okay? It's package.json. It's like the manifesto for our project, for JavaScript project, okay? So it's called this, okay, no problem. Let's give it the version 0.01, okay. The main file is not problem, okay, great. License, let's call it MIT for no reason, okay. Now let's try to think about how to solve the problem. What we said we will have, for example, if we use the command git ignore gs, it will add automatically files that should be ignored in GS project. Okay, the same thing for Java. Okay, GS and Java project. We have two projects. Okay, git ignore Java. If we use git ignore Java, okay. The first thing we need to add a module which is called commander. It's a well-known project or well-known module in JavaScript. JavaScript is called commander. The commander module will allows you to use the terminal. Okay, it's called the commander. Okay, I have already a working solution here. If you can try it, I have this. This is the working solution that I implemented. I finished the implementation. For example, in here, this is JavaScript project, and in JavaScript project, you should ignore all of this. npm debug, yarn debug, if you know yarn error, this one, libcov, this. So you can't memorize all of these files that you should ignore in JavaScript project. Okay? So if I delete this one, okay, I delete this one, okay, and I said this solution is working. I called it git pro, okay, just git pro. It's like the CV name. If, for example, I use in the command git pro, okay, and I use the GS word, you can notice here that a file named, what's the name of the file? Git ignore. A file named git ignore will be created automatically with all the content inside of it. Okay? If I use here git.js, you can notice here. Now, what's happening? Not GS. I called it node. What you can see here. Okay, it's very interesting. So now I can write on the project directly without taking care or worrying about what I should ignore, what I should not ignore, okay? And someone may ask me, where did I get all this content? Yes, interesting. It's from GitHub. There is a repository in GitHub called github.com, GitHub, git ignore. Okay? In this repository, you can see, if you understand the language of stars, it's a well-known repository, okay? 55,000. It's git ignore. What's inside this repository? There is all the file. For example, if you use, for example, let's say you use PHP and you use Laravel, for example. With this laravel.ignore file, you find all the files that should be ignored in a Laravel project. For example, you can look for Java. Let's find Java. Objective-C, if you are working on Objective-C project. Inside this file, you find all the files that should be ignored.
I just want to add something. I think there's a website, gitignore.net. It just allows you to select tags. For example, you're working a game on Unity. You select Visual Studio, you press space, you press Unity, you press space, you do whatever other thing that you're using, and it gives you the file ready with everything together. Yes,
it will generate automatically. Yeah. Yes, we are trying to implement this from zero. Yeah. Okay, so this is the idea. Okay, if we come to Java project, let's search for Java. This is Python. If you are Python developer, let's find Java. Where is G? No. Here. What is Java?
Yes,
Yes, there is here Java. If you are working, let's check for example this Java. What's inside? Yes, for Java guys. Yes, you need to ignore all of this. Where is the target? It's not here.
Classes.
Yes, no problem. Okay, so in Java project you will ignore this. .jar, I don't know, .this. Okay, so you will ignore all this. Okay, so with our example, we will say if you use the command, for example, we called it git ignore JavaScript, it will ignore, it will add all the files that should be ignored in JavaScript. If we say git ignore Java, and we are inside the Java project, it will automatically ignore all Java project. Okay, so the first question that comes to mind is where do I get the content of the file? Okay, so this is the first question. Where do I get the content of the file? So it's very simple. We clone or we copy the content from this repository. Okay, if you can see here in my solution, in this working solution, not this one, in this one solution that's working, you can see here there is templates folder. I called it templates. You can call it whatever you want. Okay, and inside here, what you can see, node.ignore, Java, etc. All the files that represent each language. Okay, Dart, all the languages. Okay, so what should I do if I draw something here? If I draw the solution before implementing. So what? For example, git ignore. Okay, let's call it, for example, GS. What happens here? First thing, search for gs.git ignore file. Okay, the first thing, we will search for gs.git ignore file somewhere. Okay, where we will call it, for example, what we call it? I called it templates. You can call it whatever you want. Let's for example, templates. Let's stick to it. Okay, so what's the first? Select for gs.git, select this file from this location. Okay, and what's the next step? What's the next step? I take the content of the file. Okay, I take the content, and inside my project, my current project, I create a file. What's called? I create file called .git ignore. We create the file .git ignore inside our project. Okay, this is all are the steps. Okay, then we will implement this. Okay, so we create a file called .git ignore inside our project. If we are inside the JavaScript project, it will call inside the project gs project /.git ignore, Java project Java /.git ignore. Okay, what's the third step? Third step, very easy. We take the content of this file, we put it inside this file. Okay, very easy. Take the content of, let's call this, for example, 1, and this, call it 2. Take the content of 1 and put it inside 2. Okay, or we can, whether we use this or we use, for example, let's call it 3, 3, 1. We can use 3, 2, which is copy and rename it name it to. Which is the easy solution, this one or this one? Whether we take the content and put it in the second file, or just copy the file and change the name. Which is the easy solution? Okay, so just we have the file here. We just copy to our location and change the name. Instead of Java js.getIgnore, we call it .getIgnore. Okay, great. So let's come back here. Great, we have this. Let's copy these templates. CP. We copy templates inside. Git for humans. Examples. What we call it? Yes, we call it our example. Okay. So I copy this. Okay. So if I come back here, what you see? You can see a project called templates. Okay, what's inside these templates? All the ignored file, the content in them. Okay, Android project. Okay, so if I find Android project, I will open this, copy this file to my project. Okay, if I find, for example, C++ project, also I will copy this file and rename it to. I copy to my project and just rename it .getignore. Okay, instead of C++ .getignore. Just copy the file and change the name to .getignore. Okay, great. We have this. Now let's install the commander. Okay, it's a command. With JavaScript, we use npm or yarn if you are. Npm install save. It's called commander. Okay, it's a utility that we can use. Okay, let's see if the connection is good. Okay, great. If we now you can see the node modules folder. Okay, this project should never be tracked. Okay, node modules folder. Okay, if I open back package.json file, I can see in the dependencies entry there is the commander module. Okay, great. There is the commander. Okay, there is also, I used another one. Let's check here. Let's check here. Let's make it a little bit. I used also the fs extra and Pascal case. Pascal case, which means like uppercase. You can this Pascal case we won't use it. Fs extra with fs is like the file system module in JavaScript. If you know fs, it's file system. It is the module that has like read from file, open file, etc. We use this module fs extra because it has JavaScript promises and some improvements. Okay. So we use this module also. What we call it? npm, the same. Install, save, this one, fs extra. Okay? You can notice here, I didn't add git yet. Okay? So I'm just preparing my project. Okay? Great. So I added this one, fs. Great. Let's now create a file here. Touch. Let's call it main.js. Okay, it's this one, main. It's called index. Let's call it, no problem. Okay. Now what I need, first of all, main.js. First step, what I need, import the commander. Okay, I'm going to use the ES5 syntax, not ES6. Okay, because we can use the ES6, but I'm going to use ES5. Okay, with ES5, what you use? We use var instead of const and let. Okay, for JavaScript developers, var commander equal what? Require commander. Okay, we need also to implement var fs require fs extra. Okay, you can call it here something else. Okay, fs extra. Okay, we call it fs. Okay, great. Now what we said, detect current folder, current project location. What we do, we need detect also the type of the project. After that, we are going to copy the .git ignore file. Okay? So we need to do all these steps. First of all, we need to detect the current project location, because if I want to copy a file from here to here, from here to somewhere, I need to know this address. Okay? Great. We said we use commander. Let's copy this. It's commander because I don't remember all this. Commander. Let's just take this one. This is simple. Let's put it here. Let's remove all this program and see what's happening inside here. Okay? So what's the meaning of this? It's called program. We can call it program or commander. Let's call it program here. Okay? If I use commander, now I can use the command. Let's copy here. Here I need also to include what we call a bin, binary entry. Bin. Okay. We need to use this one. What we have here, I think, let's check here because I forget. Where is the bin? Yes, it's the bin git ignore. No, just copy it here. Let's change it. Why we use this bin? So we can use this command. Let's call it. Give us a name. Let's call. Just give us a name, random name. Give us a name. Come on, you can't even pick a name. Let's. Istanbul. Long. Let's call it Istanbul. Okay? Okay, Istanbul will point to what? Main.js. Okay? Let's first to test this one. Let's see. Okay, this we call it name. Okay, okay. Action here. Console.log. Let's hello Istanbul. This is just the first attempt. Okay? In JavaScript, you can use this semicolon and you can ignore them. Okay, no problem. We use them here. Okay, so what we have here in package.json file, we have the bin. So now in my terminal, I can use Istanbul. If I use Istanbul.enter, you will see hello Istanbul. Okay, but now you can see it. Why? Because I didn't add my project. Why?
It's ignored.
Not ignored. We didn't get to that level yet. We are still in the beginning. Why? Because I need to compile this one. Not compile, but link it. We use the command npm link. Okay? Great. Now if I use Istanbul, it says an error. Where? Line 1. Syntax error, line 1. Let's check. Where is the error? Why there is an error? Maybe we made some mistake. Let's check here. No, it's the same name. Yes, great catch. What should we use here? Great, just remove the var, okay? Or separate them, great. So now I should link it again. You are very active today. Great, now if I use Istanbul, come on. Why? Syntax? Line, let's check. There is an error here, somewhere here. Let's say main, where?
In the first time there is a parenthesis.
Where? No, just the command. Just learn from.
Isn't it version that's missing?
No, not the version. It says a syntax error. It says a syntax error, not something missing. Let's just use it here. Okay, no problem. This one here. Okay, the version from package.json, we grab the version. So from this one, we take the version name. Okay, we set this one. Okay, hopefully this one is working. Now I should npm link. Okay, great. Now, come on. Let's check this one. What it says here, use Mac, etc., etc. Let's open this file. Git ignore. No, not this one. Let's open this file to see what's the error. Why? Maybe it's.
Code doesn't show an error.
No, there is no error. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's something, I don't know. Let's check my version of Node version. Let's use this one, my favorite version. Okay, now, okay, let's npm link. Oh, maybe it's here. We are missing something here. Let's say. Why? If you find what's wrong here, let's say, syntax error near token 1. Where is Istanbul? Where is the error here?
You can go link npm link.
Yeah, it says in the line 1. Where's line 1? var program require commander. What's the problem here? What? Which point? No. This is legit. No, this one. Let's see. Commander, the same commander, I think. Let's check. Commander, yes, the same commander. Okay, no problem. Just let's make sure we use the same. Let's just remove this one. Okay. Okay. Great. So now if I use npm link, what else? Our example, etc., etc. Okay, great. So we are using the main.js is like the Istanbul command, okay? So the Istanbul command is associated with the main.js file, okay? Now hopefully, Istanbul, come on. Well, let's check. Yeah, maybe this one. You can see here? Maybe this one.
The package.json is pointing to the previous directory. You should remove a run point.
Yeah, this is a good point, yes. But it's not the problem here. Let's check this one. npm link. Istanbul. Give. Same problem. Let's check. Let's open this file.
Are we sure we have the commander dependency, right?
Yeah, we have the commander dependency here.
We have it, but does it need to download it or something? I don't know if it was
No, it's download. It says there is.
Like in Java.
Yes, there is. What's here? What's inside here? It's syntax error. It's a syntax error. It's not. It's not like JavaScript couldn't find the file. It's like syntax error, which means everything is okay, but there is syntax error. Okay, let's find the syntax error. This is the interesting part for like live demos. There is always problems and issues. Okay, let's find together.
Could it be about the var and the let? Maybe he's expecting a let instead of a var.
Where?
Could it be about the var? Maybe he's not recognizing the var. Maybe he expects
No.
a let.
Yes, maybe in this version we can let's say const. Yes, let's use const.
If you look at const second one is the end of the S.
Yes, but we don't use this one. We use this one.
If you look at your previous
Yeah.
work, there's a different line.
Which one?
That's,
No, it doesn't matter. Which one? Which line? This one?
first one.
Yes. This is the most interesting. Yes. Thank you. I forget this. Yes. This is very interesting. This is a very important piece. Thank you for. Yes. What's the meaning of this for JavaScript developers? This is very interesting. What's the meaning? Yes. No. This means we need the bash. Do you know the bash? Yes. We need to use the bash with the node. Because why we have the error? Because it's trying to use only bash to read the file, whereas it's a JavaScript file. So when we say bash, use node because this is Node.js project. Thank you. This is the Okay? So be careful. You can spend the days or weeks trying to find this error and you, okay? So be careful. Great. So this is very interesting, very important piece. So now if I let's npm link, okay, if I use Istanbul, hallelujah, okay? Why is showing this, all the description? Thank you. Why? Because here we said if the arguments, there is no arguments, display the help of the program, okay? If there is no argument, display the help. If we say, for example, name, if we add something, name, Istanbul, GS, what you will see? Hello, Istanbul, okay? So it's like the beginning of the solution, okay? So we have Istanbul, we called it Istanbul, you can call it wherever you want, okay? We call GS. So we have the program, so this is the program, it's like the command. We use the name, this is called the name argument or parameter, okay? So this is the command name, Istanbul, and this is GS. GS is the name, okay? And what we are doing in the action, we are just showing hello Istanbul. Let's now not show hello Istanbul, but show the name, okay? Let's call it language is and show what? Name, okay? Now what we should do, we should link again. Okay, now Istanbul, GS. Yeah, great, it's working correctly, okay? Great, it's working correctly. Now what we should do, we said, okay, automatically find the file. Great. So what we have here, let's call, for example, define this one, define, for example, here, const, let's call it, for example, templates path, okay, which means directory to, we use something, if you know JavaScript, a little bit JavaScript, you can use this, okay, we use this path require, okay, path, okay, we need to use the path module, okay. What we use here, path equal path dot join, okay, what we join, okay, the directory name, okay, which means the current directory. What we should use also, we use the second argument, which is templates, okay. If now we display this one, if we just show this one, console, like templates path is, we just show this path, okay. Now what we should get, if we npm link, and then again, what we get? We get this one, GS, we get this one, GS, because we entered GS, and this is the templates path, which is users, etc., etc., presentation, etc., example, etc. Our example folder, which is here, this is the project, okay, our example project. What else? We have slash templates, okay, which is correct, okay, which is correct. Great, great. Now what we need, we have the template path. Now we need to find the language. Let's call it language ignore file, okay. What's the path? We use this one, template. What we add, we use concatenation with what? With name, which is the name of the language, okay, plus another concatenation, git ignore. Because if we want, for example, node, we use this one, node. What is node? We use node dot git ignore, okay. So slash templates, this folder, templates, and also node, which is the name, we should add dot this one, because we have node dot git ignore, okay, to get the same name, okay. Let's also display this language, okay. Let's const Okay, let's also display this one, console.log. In JavaScript, we always use console.log to track the changes, okay? Let's call it language file. Okay, language ignore file, okay? Now, npm link, Istanbul.js, okay? What you can see now, what we have here, thank you. What we have here, we have the template path, which is true, /templates. What we have also, templates of, we made an error here. Okay, there is an error here. What we should add the slash. Okay, here we can, instead of using this ++, we can use path dot in JavaScript join. You give it just the arguments and it will automatically join the arguments. Okay, if we show it again now, if we link it again, yes, what you can see? There is also another error. Why? Because there is template/gs/.ignore. No, we want just /template/gs.ignore. So we need just to remove this one. The language, we should concatenate the language with git ignore. Okay? This one. Now if I use Istanbul node, remember, look here. What we have? We have here the template path, which is correct. You can see the path /templates. And also for the node ignore file, what's the link? Templates/node git ignore. If I check here, is it called node.gitignore? It's the same name, but there is a small difference. What's the difference here? Yes, excellent. There is capital. So we need also to deal with the capital. Yes, we can create function. Let's call it capitalize. No problem. I think there is also in, let me just check here. Let me just. No, we need capitalize, not uppercase. To uppercase, we'll make all the letters capital. We need only the first one. Yes, we can. Great. Yes. No, I'm trying to find the native implementation. Okay, no problem. We can use. Let's create function. Let's call it, for example, function. What we call it? Function. Capitalize. Okay. It accepts an integer and return. What here? To uppercase. Okay. Join. We can use join. We can use add.
Substring.
Yes, we can use str.
N minus
Str. We can use also what we use here, string. Str dot. Sub
String 1.
no str no not here not sub str. Let me just we have here the string, the first letter. What we need also, we need to add the rest. Okay, what we use?
parenthesis no dot net no yes one
No never. What here? Str dot sub str.
1 to string length exceeder.
Great. Str.
Length exceeder minus.
Yes, great. Why? Because we have the whole string. For example, we have this. For example, we have ABC. A is capital. We need to take from the second till the end. Okay? Great. So this is the function. Let's try to use the function here. Let's call capitalize. it's like this. It's directly like this, okay? So we take it like this, capitalize. We are just, okay, bingo. It's working, okay? So now let's check. What is it? What is it here? Yes, the main. Okay, so we just need to change this. Okay, great. So it's working. What we need here, we need, instead of calling name, we need to just use the function capitalize. Great. Okay, let's check, double check if it is the name. Okay, the same name. Great. Let's link again. Istanbul node. Okay, is it the same name? Okay, we get the same name. Now we have only one step. What we need now, we need just to copy this file from this location. This is the tricky part. Just wake up if you are asleep. Okay, in this part, what we need? We need to copy this file from this location, where? To my current location. Because if I'm in, for example, let's say, just keep up with me. Let's say, for example, I'm in JavaScript project. I need to copy the file from that direction to the current project. If I'm in Java project, the same. I need to copy the file to the Java project. Okay? Great. So now what I need, once I have this one, I will use the function fs copy. Okay? There is source and there is destination. Okay? Great. And also there is, if you know the promises, then, and there is also catch if there is an error. Okay? Let's say, for example, error, just error. Okay? And here we say, for example, console.log file copied successfully, which means we were able to copy the file. Okay? Great. Now we need the interesting part. The SRC, what is the SRC? The source. The source is this one. Okay? Do you agree? Because we need to copy this file. Do you agree? The source is this file. We need to copy this file. Okay? So I replace this one, source, here. Great. Destination. The interesting one. What destination? What is destination? Destination should refers to the current project. If I'm in Java project, it's the path to the Java project. If I'm in JavaScript project, it's the, okay? So we use a magical word in JavaScript or in Node. It's called process.pwd, which means pwd, which means present working directory. Okay? It's like if you use this one, pwd, okay? Yeah, print current working directory, okay? Or print working directory, like, okay? Great. So what we use, let's just display the project, okay? Let's now use this one. Let's just, for now, let's not copy. Let's comment this one, okay? Let's just display to the console.log. You are in the location. We show the location. The location we said it's process.pwd. Okay? If you are, for example, in folder called ABC, it will show all the path, then ABC. If you are in another name, it will show all the name. Okay? We call great. Let's npm link for second time. Npm link. Okay? Let's now, we don't need to use Istanbul here, we use it somewhere else. Okay? To see if it will show. Okay? Let's see. Let's come back here. Okay? Okay? I'm in different place, okay? I'm somewhere else. Let's go to JavaScript, to the CD, the GS example, okay? Now I'm inside the JavaScript example. Now if I use the Istanbul command, I can use the Istanbul command. If I use Istanbul, I use node, look what you see here. It's ugly. Yeah. Can you still see it?
Not really.
Yeah, what it says here, your location, you are in the location and define. Okay, we need to solve this issue. Okay, let's see what's the problem. Let's see. No, the process, there is somewhere. Yes, why? Because we need, it's a function, we need to call it. It's not properly. We need to link it again. Okay, if we come back now, where is it? If we come back here, and I should link it again because I have an issue. Okay, if I use now Istanbul node, oh, what it says?
It's not a function.
Oh, I know, it's function. Let's say here. No, it's function. Let's say here, what's the PWD? Git copy, can you see here, CLE? Okay, we can use Google. Thankfully there is Google. You don't have to remember everything. So always searching Google like this. No problem, you come directly, okay. Yes, it's not PWD, it's CWD. Okay, so just replace it here. I come back here, let's find it. Where is it? The project, it's here. Okay, where is PWD? Where is it? We just use CWD. Okay, for me, I didn't notice because I used P, you can see it's red. If I change it to C, red, which means doesn't exist. If I change it to C, green. I didn't notice this, okay? Okay, now if I link it again, link, npm link, okay? If I go back to my project, okay, I use also source to rush RC. Now if I use Istanbul node, you can see it's working. Oh, great. Now we have one last step. What's the last step? Just copy this file, okay, and put it inside this project. Because if I change to the Java project, if I go cd Java project, now I'm inside a different project because we need our solution to work in every project, not only in JavaScript or Java. Okay, so we need it to work in all projects. Now I'm inside the Java project. If I use Istanbul, okay, let's say Java, what you see? Templates slash java.gitignore, and the location is the location of this folder. Okay, it's working, great. Okay, so what's the last step now? What do we need now? The last step, what we need now, we need to copy. Okay, we said we use the fs command, okay? Fs, which means file system, okay? Fs dot copy the src source to destination. Okay, we use the promise version, then the function if there is no error. What we said we will show console.log success created successfully, which means the file, okay, created successfully. What we have also, we have here, let's call it catch. If there is an error, what we say here, there is, okay, there is an error. Okay, now I should just recompile it again. Okay, I just recompiled it again. If I come back here, I'm inside the Java project. I'm inside the Java project. There is no file inside this project, okay? You can see, I just listed all the files, there is nothing. Now, if I use Istanbul Java, you will see the Java file copied here, okay? What do we do here? Istanbul Java, okay? Oh, there is an error. What it say? FS is not defined, which means we didn't add FS, okay? Let's say, where is FS? Yes, because there is no FS. FS equal require FS, okay? Great. FS, we say, not FS, FS extra. Great, because it's called FS extra, okay? And they have the FS extra module here, FS extra, okay? Let's check. Great. Let's link it again. Let's make sure we have Java here. Do we have Java here? Java.getIgnore. Let's check. Yes, we have Java, okay? If I come back here, let's link it. We said there is nothing. It's clear. If I use Istanbul Java, come on. Why? Because we're still using SRC. It's not SRC. What is it? No. We copy the template path. This one. Yes, great. And here, process, this one. Let's call it const current directory. Okay? Great. We have this one. Now what we need to change, copy this and put it inside current directory. Okay? Is it okay? Okay, great. Let's link it again. Okay. Same thing here. If we list, there is nothing. If we use Istanbul Java, fine. There is an error. Why? Let's check here. Java project. Your location is templates, our example /templates /Java. Yes, let's show the error, because if there is an error, you will get error. Okay? Let's show this error. What's the error? Okay? Okay, let's link it again. Come back here, not here. Okay, no problem. Istanbul Java. What's the error is saying? Operation not permitted. Yes, why? Because we are, what it says here? Operation not permitted. Unlink this file. Yes, which means there is a permission problem. Let's go somewhere else. CD desktop. Desktop. Okay, let's make there Java project, CD, Java project. Okay? Java project. Now if I use Istanbul Java, should be no problem. What's the?
Because it requires a file name for destination.
No, there is destination here. We have the destination here.
It's like it tries to change the Java projects folder to a file.
Let's just double check if we have an error here. We are copying this one, fs.copy. Yes. Process.current working directory. We are using the then function. We are the catching. What's the problem? This is the language. We said it's the template path, which is this one, correct? /
Also, it needs a file, I guess, for destination.
Where? Which line? Can you give me line number?
28.
28, yes.
We
Cop-
put the current directory as a destination, but it's folder and it requires file.
No, it's not. It's not. Yes. Great. What we should add? Thank you. We should add something. We should add. Yes, he's right. We should add. What we should add? Path.join this one, and because if I am in this project, if I am in, for example, project PR1, I need to, inside PR1, create git ignore. Okay? If I show the example now, if I show it again, thank you, npm link. If I show it again here now, let's not make it source bash rc. Okay, if I use Istanbul Java, finally. If I list the files, there is git ignore. Let's open this. I use Sublime this time, not Sublime. Let's what we use here. Let's just open the file. Let's here, or let's go back to cd Java. Let's copy this path. Okay, and go back to Java project. cd to this project. Git for, okay, we go to Java project. Okay, it's empty, there is no project. Okay, if I use now Istanbul Java, it's a Java project successfully. If I use Sublime, now if I open this git ignore, what should be inside? It should be inside the content of java.gitignore. You remember? If I open this, no, come on. Okay, if I open here, let's do something quick here. Let's, from this area, open the java.gitignore and see if they have the same content. Okay, open. What we have? Java project. No, let's go here. It's what is it? Not Java project. Examples. Our example. Templates. Java. Let's say find Java. What is Java? Find with me Java, please. Java. Okay. Come on. It's blocked. Can you check if it's the same? Okay, let's do it once again for JavaScript project. Okay, let's block this Sublime text. No, don't report this. Just close it. Okay. Now let's go inside JavaScript project. Okay, it's very interesting now. Let's go inside JavaScript project. I'm inside Java. Let's come back. Okay, let's now go inside which project? Examples. No, cd examples. Let's go inside the JavaScript project. cd JavaScript project. Okay, great. Istanbul. We don't use JavaScript. Why? Because we don't have a file called JavaScript. We have a file called Node. So we use Node. We can use another trick. Just rename the file. Call it JavaScript. We use, what we use here? Node. Okay? If we use Node, successfully. Let's now open this project. Let's open this project here. Using code. Let's new window. What do we open here? Let's open which one, which project? Examples, GS project. Okay,
But you were in the Java project for
No, let's check here.
You said JavaScript, but you write Java.
I write Java? Forgive me. Let's go back. Let's check. No?
Picture directly.
Where? Yeah, here. You see me.
Here.
We run the commands in Java project folder.
Yes, I'm in Java. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Okay, there is nothing here. Okay, if we use Istanbul, we call it node. Okay, successfully. Okay, if I say there is the file here, if I opened it here, where is it? Let's check. Entitled. No, not this one. Where is it? GS project. If now I open the sidebar, you can see GS project. Where is it? Do you know Vim? Let's reuse Vim. So there is the content here, okay? Okay, we have here. But let's solve the problem. For JavaScript, we don't need to use Node. We want GS. What's the solution? I need your solution. What we should change? If we want not to write Node, we want to write Istanbul GS. What we should change? What solution? Solution could be just rename. No, not duplicate. No. Yok. No. I will start speaking Turkish now. No. Now I should just rename this one. Look here. Okay, we are here. What we should rename? Look, let's find the node. Where is node? Let's now LME node. Okay, just this one. Rename it, for example, GS. Okay, now there is no problem. The problem solved. If I use the project again, let's come back here. Open new window, and inside this window, let's open what is GS project. Okay, there is the GS project. There is the git ignore. Let's delete this one. Delete the file. Move to trash. Okay. Show the terminal. Let's now use Istanbul. Come on. Why? Because I need Istanbul GS.
No.
It will work or not? What's your opinion? Who says it will not work? I think it will work. What do you think?
Nobody says not work.
Because I said it will work. It's obvious.
The name is dynamically.
Yes, because I changed the name, it will automatically know it's GS. Now, look. If I open this file, no problem. Istanbul GS, finished. Now we need to clean the project. We need to remove this console.log because it's not professional, okay? We need to remove them, okay? Let's go back here. Where is it, the project? Here? No, where is the main? Here, our example. So we need to come back here. In the main, this one we should remove it or just comment. Okay? If I link it again, okay, I linked it again. If I come back here to my project, where is my project? JavaScript example here. Okay, now let's remove this again. Okay, now if I use Istanbul GS, look what it is. Very clean result. You will see a file was created and there is only one simple message, the file was created. Okay, so the solution is work. Great. Now what time is it before we go? What time is it? Let's check. No, this is wrong. Is it 9 something?
Yep, it's almost
Oh, it's very, time is moving fast. Okay, let's know the fun part. Let's integrate Git now, okay, fast, okay? What we said with Git, we use Git.
Is it going to work after we exit the terminal, like
Yes, yes.
to another user?
Great, great. Let's close the terminal. Okay, close the terminal. Okay, where is it? The terminal. Let's close it. Close this one. Hide. Okay, it's closed now. You can see. If I open terminal. Okay.
Different user.
No, it's fresh. It's a new terminal. You can see it's new. Okay. For me, I have problem. I should always use SRC. I should always use this one, this command, because I have problem in my configuration. I need to use this one. If you are curious, just search what's the meaning. No, no. In normal, you don't need to have. For me, I have a problem in my configuration, in the computer configuration. If you are curious, just write this in Stack Overflow, say what's the meaning. You will find what does this mean. Because there is something missing here, okay? But for you, you need to use this. Now if let's go in project, let's go for example, let's for example, if I come back here, let's create a file here, template. Okay, inside template, let's create a new folder, file, let's call it Istanbul also. Let's call it ISTA, only ISTA. Okay, let's write here, I don't know, what you say? Forgive me, I don't know. Almost true. Great. Okay, let's say for example only this. Okay, let's now say I don't know. Okay, we have only this. Okay, great. Let's now for example npm link it again, because we changed. We need to link it again. Okay. Now if I use it here inside my, let's for example go. I'm inside desktop. Let's go to desktop, make directory, call it, for example, I don't know, ISTA, cd ISTA, okay, there is nothing here. Now if I use Istanbul, ISTA, a file named ista.gitignore should be created. Now look, okay, if I list the files, if I open vim dot, what should be inside? Okay, okay, so here is it. Okay, so it's working. Okay, now let's add git and push it to GitHub. Okay, rapidly. Let's move fast. Okay, now let's go here. Okay, let's create a git project. We need to use git init as we said. Okay, great. Okay, git init. Okay, we use also in git a command called git status to see the state of the project. Okay, you can see we have main node modules, should not be here, node modules, package.json templates. Okay, let's now we can use also, now we can use ignore, let's for this reason here git ignore. Let's just ignore this file. Where is it? Let's open this one. Let's close this one. Git ignore for just to be okay. Now if I use git status again, what you can see, there is no node modules here. Why? Because I used git ignore and I removed node modules. Okay, great. Let's add everything. Git add everything. Okay, let's commit. Git commit. What we call it? Okay. Why? Okay, great. It creates everything. Okay. If I use git status, you can see nothing. There is nothing to commit. Working tree clean, which means everything was saved. If I use git log, you can see the log here. Okay. Great. Now let's add GitHub project, okay? Let me come back here. Okay, I go back to GitHub. Okay, my GitHub account. Okay, let's now here create project, new repository. Let's make it private. What we call it? Istanbul. Okay, private, create repository. We did this, we used git init, we added this, we add the commit. Now we should only add the remote branch, okay? We copy just this. Okay. Now if I come back, git remote, which means the remote branch name, add origin, etc. Great. Now I can push, now you understand the changes are in my computer. I can push the changes to GitHub. What I use? Git push origin, which is the name of the remote master. Okay? I can use git push simply, but I prefer to explicitly say the origin master. Okay? Look here. Great. Now if I go back, if I refresh, what's here? Git. Okay, Istanbul. Okay, great. Let's have something else here. Let's now use Smart Git, the tool that I told you about. Okay, let's open Smart Git. Okay, let's add the project. Add or create. Where is it? Examples / our example. Okay. As you can see, it is clean. There is no changes here, okay? Let's, for example, add something. Let's, for example, add, let's go back here. Where is it? Let's here, for example, let's change something. I don't know. For example, here, we don't say successfully. How to say? Ignore, I don't know. Give us Turkish, I don't know, Turkish. I don't know. Okay, what we did here, we changed something, okay? We changed something. If I come back here using this project, what you can notice, there is something here, main. What you can see here, let's say the view, zoom, what is the zoom? Why it's not zooming out, I don't know. Do you see this? This is the old version. This is the new version. Yes. So you see the difference. What's happening? Okay, which is very cool. You see the difference. What's the different? Okay. For example, let's call this commit. Let's call the commit. Let's push it. What we call this? Oh, no, not here. Where is it? What we call this? Git status to see. Git add main.js, git commit. What we call the commit? Give us a message. What? Update main.js, because it was there. Okay, main.js file. Okay. Okay. Now I should push it also. Okay. So we have two commits. Okay. The nice thing using this tool called Smart Git, if you come back here, there is here the messages. Do you see them? The first commit with the working message. If you click here, okay, working, you can see all the file that was added in this commit working, all this file created for the first time. Okay. If you come here to the update main.js, which is very cool. If now we update another file, let's say, for example, I don't know. Let's say, for example, here in package.json, let's, for example, rename the projects. Let's, for example, call it Istanbul. Okay? Let's now git add everything, git commit. What we should say? Project name. Okay? Or change project name. Let's call it change. Change project name, okay? Let's git push Okay, it was pushed. Now if I check, if I use this awesome tool again, what you can see here, there is this, the first one, there is this one. Okay, when I changed only yoke, and there is also this commit. Not this, this one. Which is really cool. You can see only the part that changed. For example, if you want to go back, what time is it? Let's check. Oh, I think we should finish with just go back. Let's remove the last commit, okay? The last commit, we remove it, okay? Let's come back here. Not here, let's come back here. Okay, let's git log to show the commits. This is the commit ID. Every commit has its own unique ID, okay? This is the ID of the last commit. We take it, git, reset, you remember? What we use? Hard or soft? We use hard? Let's use hard, okay? Because we are hard. Now, if I go back here, what you can see, let's open this again. Yes, because you need to refresh the project. Where is it? Where is it? We need to refresh the project. Where is it? Here. If we use git log, we can use git reset. Okay, we remove only the last commit, okay? Head is now. If I go back here, what you can see, there is only 2 commits. If I want also to remove this commit, what I use, just repeat this. Now, only 1 commit, okay? I think it is funny, but the time, we ran out of time. Okay, so I think we need to close this one. Just want to finish this with this slide. So there is this, I think this link is very good and very interesting. I will share this slide with you in the, I think in the website, Istanbul Coders, in meetup.com/Istanbul Coders. So this one is very interesting and very simple and easy. If you read this article multiple times, you will be a Git guru. You'll be Superman in Git, okay? So it's very interesting and very easy. It's very simple. There is not the hard words. It's very simple English words, okay? And the examples are very good, okay? We have also this one, visualizing Git, which is a reactive tool, okay? We didn't get the time to show it, unfortunately. There is also this one, Git sheet, okay? So before we go, do you have any question, Nini? Before we close.
Are you using cherry?
I'm using?
Cherry. You know, video cherry.
What is this? Because there is language every day. What is this? Language or tool?
One of.
You're talking about share?
Cherry.
What is this, Cherry?
It is about TFS.
We are moving the commits, the other brands with cherry.
Yeah, Sherbet. Yeah, Sherbet. Yeah, it's another way. Yes. The others. Do you have any question? Okay. So thank you. So this is my handler. You can reach me over Twitter or GitHub or Gmail. Okay. So I will share the slides with you. Okay. So thank you for coming.